Spiritual Butterfly here. Hope you're all doing brilliant today. Today's video is going to be about a whole range of things relating to, the current energies that we're in at the moment, and the fact that we're seeing things really clearly at the moment. Clearing cycles are coming to an end, ready for our internal shift, which has already taken place. It's been a gradual process of clearing, integrating, realization, seeing things for what they are, implementing that into your life, realizing that we're energetic beings, and seeing that shift taking place in our outer circumstances and our flow of abundance and flow of even being calm and peaceful, and being able to see when things are bad for us, seeing the patterns and understanding them for what they are with people, scenarios, how our environment feels to us. Because as an empath, before you wake up when you're young, a lot of the situations and places and people, the surroundings that you're in, a lot of them things were out of your control altogether. And I think, that can feel quite stifling growing up like that. And, I think as an empath, before you wake up, you can also, at school or college or work, I used to feel, I can speak for myself, and also, a lot of people that I know, you start to be able to read people and understand situations. And I used to always feel strange and awkward around people, because I was always picking up their energy. And also, I think being quite awake but not fully present, I would always just be looking around at people and places that I was in, and truly not connecting with anything there or anybody, because I never felt right in a lot of situations. And so I was just sort of drifting through my life day to day, and that's how the majority of us are, let's face it. And it's quite easy when you're going through your awakening to question and ask yourself, am I imagining the awakening? Am I imagining that I'm being guided by these angel numbers? I'm seeing them everywhere I look. And am I imagining that I've had a shift in consciousness, and I'm now being able to be fully present and in the moment and take charge of my whole life, and then also looking around and thinking, well, was everybody else already doing that, and was it just me that wasn't? And why has it took me all this time to wake up? Are other people awake? And but when you do start to look around and you notice this in your day-to-day life, that a lot of the people that you actually speak to day to day, they're still pretty much asleep. And the conversations that you can have, they're pretty much on a surface level depth. When you're speaking to people, you do come across other awakened beings, other awakened people, friends and family members. I mean, I suppose like attracts like, and the family that you've grown up with, I'm very fortunate that my family are quite spiritually open and awakened for the most part. And also my friends, as I said before, I had to weed out a lot of people that I was associating with, because they were just no good for me. And not judging anybody, because I believe that everyone's just on their own journey, and everybody's at a different level of consciousness, and they're all going to have their own cycles and patterns play out until they awaken fully. But in the sense of myself, I had to get away from a lot of the people before I could, I suppose, go within and discover who I was and what I was doing here. I had to really look at what I was doing here. And don't do that, please. Don't do that, please. It's going to destroy that. Why don't you go and do the doll's house? And so I had to really sort of weed out anything that really wasn't serving me. And all of the people that I've now met, they're all awakened, and they're all sort of able to have really good in-depth conversations. And you know, if you're ever having one of them days where you do a lot during the first stages of your awakening, where you can quite often sit with yourself and just be looking around at a room and just think, wow, I'm just really sat here in this room looking out of my eyes, and I'm realising that I'm in a room and I'm with other people. And I know that sounds strange if you're not awakened, but when you're awakened, you'll probably be able to understand and relate to what I mean by that. You know, you realise that you're conscious, and you realise that you're living on a planet, and you realise that every single action that you're doing you're questioning everything, you're looking at everything with new eyes, you're thinking to yourself, you know, isn't it strange that like I'm just here washing up, or isn't it strange that I'm just here walking and looking around? And then you have no choice but to look within and think, okay, well, if I know that I'm doing all these things, and I am doing all these things, and I know that I'm here, then why am I here? And so then the journey starts. You start looking constantly within for the answers. I mean, first you start by looking without. You know, you're looking everywhere trying to search for these answers. You go through all the different religions. You come across all different talks, and a lot of them, you know, I'll give it to them, you know, a lot of these people that I've came across throughout the journey, you know, they gave me so much comfort watching them, because I knew there was other people out there going through the same thing as me, and they were a little bit further ahead, so I could watch them and know that, you know, it just gave me a bit of comfort knowing that you do come out of the other side. And even though I didn't think I was going to, I still had comfort knowing that, you know, there's a little bit of a guideline there, a little bit of a pathway being made, a little bit of advice of how to overcome these feelings, because it is scary waking up. It is daunting realising, you know, that every single thing that you thought you were doing here is not really what you're doing here. And also that it's an amazing feeling when you do realise that you're actually free, and that most of your insecurities, in fact, well, all of them, were all just your perception, and that you are actually free. Once you start to break down the mental chains that have been surrounding you for your whole life, you start to realise that, you know, everything you thought about yourself was really not you thinking that about yourself, because deep down inside you know who you are, but it was your thoughts about how others perceived you that made you feel like you had to act and think a certain way, and to come across and be a certain way. And you know, it's a strange one, because you've got to go through that to get to the other side, and you've got to go through all the dramas and the painful experiences and the drama of life to get to the peaceful stage where you can just sort of realise, you know, you can just like what you like, you can express yourself how you want to, you can be comfortable with who you are, you can speak your truth, you know, you can have your opinion, and it doesn't, you know, if someone's speaking to you and they have a difference in opinion, you know, you don't automatically think, oh, they're such a bad person because they don't agree with me. 9 times out of 10 you just think, oh, that's a fair point or whatever. But when it's yourself, I used to always think, you know, if I was to disagree with someone, or if I was to have a different point than them, that they would just probably not like me because I had a different point to them. But, you know, now I've realised that's how you have a conversation, that's how progress is made, you know, you speak about things. How can you be living in a life that's your life and expect it to go how you want it to go if you're not willing to stand up for who you are? And it doesn't mean you have to be rude about it. It doesn't mean that at all. It just means that you have to be comfortable and confident and strong enough within to literally stand up and live a life that's right for you. There's just no point whatsoever in any shape or form of going along with a life or being someone that you aren't. You can't do that because you're not achieving anything by doing that. In fact, you're just going to make yourself stifled, and you're not going to speak your truth, and you're going to feel unhappy and stuck, and the abundance won't flow, you know, that currency, it won't flow because your creative self can't be set free. You can't be creative and feel all the ideas coming to you and all these, well, ideas and new experiences and newfound peace of mind and just comfort in knowing that, yes, we're here now, and, you know, we're playing the role of humans at the moment. And, you know, we've gone from the old stone ages all the way through the ages to now, and, you know, the ancestors, they had to go through so many dark times, and, you know, we're our own ancestors, you know, that DNA is all within us. And so if you think about it, every single thing that has ever happened, we have experienced. It's all in our DNA, and we hold all of those codes. And the cycles have literally repeated so many times now that, you know, it's like we're hitting our head against a brick wall when they repeat around again, and we don't, when we're awake and we're met with our intuition, and we understand things fully, you know, we need to be able to put into practice what we know inside, and the awakening does that for us. So we're able to put that in place fully, and we're able to walk in our truth, and we're able to speak our truth. And so when the cycles repeat again, we can say, actually, I've been through that too many times, I'm not having it, it's not for me, I don't want any part of that, or, you know, I'm going to do it differently this time. I watched my grandmother, my mother, and they probably watched all of theirs, which was us in turn, and now we're here and we're awakening, and this is beautiful. And unlike in the olden days, where if you were a spiritual being and you were spiritually free and you spoke your truth, you'd be called a witch because the religions were so persecuting, you know. Spiritual people have always been dashed down and bashed, and, you know, for being different and called witches and all these other things. But now is the time that, you know, we're all waking up, and there's so many of us together, and there's no more time for that. And so this is a beautiful time on earth for us to stand in our truth and say, you know, look around, people, we're living here, and we're not here to be punished. We were here, it's a school, and we were here to learn and grow. Aisha, what are you doing? And, you know, to realise that we're free. We're literally free. We're clearing the cycles, you know. There's energy coming in from the great central sun, the rays, the solar flares, and the amount of light that's coming in to guide us and to awaken us. And throughout the next few months, we're just going to see more and more of that. And, you know, if you're going through anything, if you're feeling negative, just always remember your meditation, eating healthy, resting, and always clearing negative people and things out of your life. Do that bit by bit and stay really strong. Pray, you know, pray to the source of all creation, our creator, and the Lord is guiding us all. You know, there's a lot of different ascended masters and beings guiding us all. We've got the angels who come to guide us because we're such spiritual and beautiful beings down here having an experience, and it's a virtual, it isn't an illusion as such, because we are here and we are living this now, but it is an illusion in the sense that, you know, we think we can't control anything, and we can't control what's happening outside, but we can control our perception of it, and we can choose to take the high road, our higher self. We can choose to take that high road in every moment and make something positive out of any negative situation. And we can also choose to stand in our power and in turn clear our chakra system with speaking our truth and getting into alignment with who we are. And that's so important to do. So I just want you all to know that, you know, wherever you are in your stage of awakening, that it's perfect, and, you know, you will get there. We all will get there. And, you know, I'm doing these videos, sometimes I think I'm just waffling on for the sake of it, but I just want anyone out there who's gone through the same thing to be able to just know that there's somebody out there going through the same. So thank you for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll do another update soon. Namaste.